Hey everyone. In this video I want to talk about how maturity and seriousness are not the same thing. This video was actually sparked by me seeing quite a few people mistake these two things, where people believe that someone who is mature is going to be more serious, or someone who is more serious is naturally more mature, and that's just not quite true. And quite often people also mistake this because they believe that someone who's more mature is going to be a bit more boring, and they believe that that boringness will come from that person being more serious. But maturity and seriousness and being boring, those three things are all separate. Like, they're not, don't mistake them all and believe that they're all the same thing, because they're not. Like, you can have someone who's very mature, but they still are a funny person. They know how to have fun. They're in tune with their inner child. That does not make them like immature. It just means they like to have fun and they can still be a mature person. So they're going to be less likely to be serious all the time because they're just going to enjoy life. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. That's the kind of mature person I am. I can be serious, but I'm not often serious all the time. Like, that's just not who I am. People who know me, they know that, sure, I know when to be serious for more deep, meaningful conversations with the people I care about, to like help them through their problems, or just to be a listening ear for them to vent to me. But I most of the time want to have fun. I want to enjoy life. So I'm usually not that serious. I mean, I'm one of the types of people that you can go to a grocery store with and end up having a very fun time, just because I'll find random things to joke about while we're there, and I'll be cracking a ton of jokes the entire time, not really being serious. That's just the way I am. So sure, some people would probably see that side of me and think, he's not very mature because he's not serious. Like I said, they're not the same things. And likewise, you can have someone who's very serious all the time, and yet they're not, that doesn't mean they're mature. Like, I've met plenty of people like that who are very serious, usually because they're a bit more intelligent than most people. And with that intelligence, they just, for whatever reason, are very serious. Usually those types also aren't quite as good with their social skills, so they don't quite see how being serious all the time can negatively impact their ability to connect with others. I'm not saying it always does, but if you're always serious, it probably will impact your ability to connect with others, unless you're just naturally a really grounded person. But yeah, that somebody being super serious all the time does not mean they're more mature than others. So don't mistake these two things. I mean, I've met plenty of people who have that intelligence to be serious all the time, but they're not very mature. Sure, they're intelligent, but intelligence and maturity, they usually go hand in hand. Usually, but not always. I mean, it's nothing in life is ever foolproof like that. There aren't these like unwritten rules that are 100% of the time true. Like, that's just not how things work. And while I would say most of the time someone who's more intelligent it'll be easier for them to become mature over time, I have met plenty of immature, intelligent people, so they don't always go hand in hand. And some of them, yeah, I mean, I've met some engineers and people studying to be engineers who are very intelligent, very serious. They weren't very mature. And quite often, a lot of them were still kind of attached to their parents for, providing things for them and whatnot, and they just hadn't really matured yet. It's like life hadn't quite created that opportunity for them. So even though they were serious all the time, they weren't very mature. So yeah, there you go. I mean, I just wanted to make this video to kind of show you how there's a lot of nuance in life, and you can't really, there are very few rules that are going to hold true 100% of the time. And just because someone's mature doesn't mean they'll be serious all the time, and just because someone is serious all the time does not mean they're immediately more mature. And just one last little thing before I close out this video. Don't make the mistake of assuming that someone being mature or super serious will make them boring. I would say definitely don't assume that mature people are going to be boring, because that's just flat out wrong. People who are serious all the time, they can potentially be boring. Yeah, so that one is a bit more of a rule that I guess is more accurate. But definitely don't assume that just because someone is mature, it's going to mean that they're more boring. And this is something that plays out more for relationships, where sure, sometimes someone who is more mature will be a bit boring in a relationship if you tend to view drama as exciting. But that's kind of an immature way of approaching relationships. So just because someone doesn't create drama in a relationship does not mean they're a boring person. It just means they don't like drama because they're more mature, so they don't want to deal with that because they view it as a waste of time. And just, drama, creating drama just for the sake of having drama is stupid as all hell. Like, I would never date a woman who's into that, because to me that's childish, and I would just say, why do I want to put up with that kind of crap? And I've matured beyond that point. Like, drama to me is not exciting, especially if it's unwarranted. I'm like, why are you even doing this? Like, is your life that boring that you have to fabricate problems to make yourself feel fulfilled? Like, what is going on here? So definitely don't make that assumption that someone being boring, or that mature people are boring. Because if anything, you'll find they're not boring at all. There's some of the, can't make blanket statements, but for the most part, people who are mature usually are a bit more in tune with themselves. And with that, they can be a lot of fun to be around, because they're the type of people where if you get them to talk about their passions, it could be a ton of fun just sitting there listening to them tell you everything that they're excited about and passionate about, and you'll see their eyes light up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So sure, mature people, if you're into drama, may come off boring because they're not going to create drama. But that by no means tells you that they're boring people. So there you have it. And I think I've already made a video on why, if you believe your partner is boring, that is not a bad thing at all. In fact, you should want a boring partner in that regard, meaning they don't create drama. Not that they're literally boring and that there's nothing exciting about them, nothing fun about them, they aren't into anything, they're not passionate about stuff. No, none of that, because people can be into all those things but not be into drama, and that will get them called boring by people who are into drama. But if they've got a lot of passions, that's not a boring person. A boring person is someone who can't be present in the moment. They always need to distract themselves. It's like they're not fulfilled with themselves, so they're always looking outward for things to make them happy or excite them or provide joy to them. They can't derive it from within themselves. Like, that's what a boring person is. Someone who's never satisfied because they aren't even satisfied with themselves. But very few people who are mature are going to be boring, because they're not going to have that problem, usually. Can't make those blanket statements, but usually they won't have that problem. But anyway, at this point I'm pretty much rambling, so this was kind of like a more psychological video, I guess. I just wanted to show how maturity and seriousness are not the same thing. Don't mistake the two. And just a little added tidbit on why mature people, you shouldn't equate that with them being boring. Like, mature people still want to have fun and enjoy life like everyone else. They just go about it in probably even better ways than the average person, because they don't view partying and getting drunk all the time or taking drugs as excitement. They're able to have fun while sober. So that kind of tells you they know how to have fun, because they don't need these, how do I put it, they don't need substances and other things to make them have fun. They're able to do it without all that. So there you have it. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. This video's gone on long enough, so hopefully you got something out of this. I don't know exactly what, but even just on a minor level, if you learned something about human nature, maybe, then it's worth it. But anyway, if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, like the video and leave a comment for the algorithm. Let me know your thoughts on this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!